and Young could be exposed slightly, because obviously Sean Wright-Phillips likes to get forward, and in this formation England will want, Ericsson will want him to get forward. Rooney's going to float around a lot, which could leave Ashley Cole exposed. So it's really important that England, that Northern Ireland try and use those strengths to put England under some pressure. But in saying that, we've got to look at the England players. We've got fantastic talent at our disposal these days. I think people have been frustrated with the last couple of results. Even though we beat Wales, England fans expected maybe a better performance. Tonight's an opportunity to sort of make up some of that, some of those problems that we've had over recent games, and an opportunity for these players to really show that they're focused on what the job in hand is, and that's to qualify for the World Cup and then go on and do well in it.
Well, this stadium, in many ways, it hasn't even started yet, look. This ground does have its little odd characteristics. The dressing room tunnel that they're coming out of now is very narrow. There's hardly room for two teams to walk side by side until they actually come out in the corner of the ground here. The officials, by the way, leading them out of from Switzerland. David Beckham, the two mascots, or two of the mascots anyway, on the Northern Ireland side are the goalkeeper's sons. Mike Taylor, he's got his two boys having an evening to remember. Joseph's 7 and Oliver's 6. And he'll also be hoping, if he can, to keep a clean sheet for as long as possible. He was a bit unlucky at Old Trafford because one of the goals that England scored was an own goal. And we'll have very shortly now the ceremonial part of the evening. There'll be national anthems, there'll be a presentation party coming onto the pitch, and we'll also see Northern Ireland wearing black armbands because one of their squad players, Colin Murdoch, has our sympathy. His father passed away last night. In fact, as a result of that, he won't be on the Northern Ireland substitute bench. Northern Ireland have not beaten England in Belfast since 1927, and their last win was at Wembley in 1972, a headed goal by Terry Neal, player-manager there. Here's Jeff Thompson, the English FA chairman, coming out to meet the Irish team, led by Aaron Hughes, the captain. Little bit of superstition in the case of Aaron Hughes. He always wears number 18, even when he's in the starting lineup. So Ireland won't have a number 4 unless that substitute comes on. Walking down the line as well is Howard Wells, the chief executive of the Irish FA, and representing the English FA with Jeff Thompson is the chief executive Brian Barwick, and president of the Irish FA Jim Boyce is there too. David Beckham tonight winning his 84th England cap. That puts him level with Ray Wilkins, who finished on that number. And there are only 6 players now in England's international history who've won more caps than David Beckham. I think you have some fun at home and work out who they are. 5 of them are quite easy, but one's a bit tricky, Graham. I'm not going to test you now.
Please don't.
We'll have a look at the teams when they've played the national anthem, because I think we're only going to hear the one tonight. Sven-Göran Eriksson unbeaten in qualifiers, played 21, won 17, drawn 4.
For your attention and respect, as we introduce from Belfast Mr. Peter Corey to sing the national anthem.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen.
Very respectfully sung, and the handshakes now as the England players go down the line. And Northern Ireland tonight have announced an unchanged team for the first time in 8.5 years. Laurie Sanchez picking the side that faced Azerbaijan 4 days ago, Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with all of them, there are 4 players from the Premiership: Taylor and Johnson of Birmingham, Hughes and Davis of Aston Villa, 5 from Championship clubs: Baird of Southampton, Capaldi of Plymouth, Gillespie Sheffield United, Elliott from Hull City, who scored on Saturday, and Healy of Leeds, the top scorer in Irish history. Centre-back Craigan plays for Motherwell. Striker James Quinn, who's useful in the air, is now with League Two side Peterborough. And of course, Laurie Sanchez did send 2 players, Whitley and Mulrine, home last week for breaking a curfew. Sven-Göran Eriksson, in recalling Michael Owen, has told Wayne Rooney to play as he does for Manchester United in a kind of half-and-half position to one side of the main striker, on the left in this case. There are 3 players there on yellow cards. Rooney's one of them, Beckham and Ashley Cole. The 2 centre-backs again, Carragher and Ferdinand, because Terry, Campbell and King are all injured. And that's the side really that I think most of us expected Eriksson to come up with. Wright Phillips encouraged to stay wide on the right. Among the substitutes there, Northern Ireland have Warren Feeney, who came on against Azerbaijan and scored from a penalty. And Joe Cole now takes his place on the England bench. The man to give way there is Kieran Richardson, despite coming on against Wales. Mentioned too tonight for another veteran figure of Northern Ireland football, that's Derek McKinley. He's the kit manager, and he's on duty for the 182nd consecutive international. So much so that the Irish FA are contacting FIFA to find out if Derek has set some kind of world record. And also helping, oh well, we'll wait, because I think we're going to have the minute silence for the sadly departed Mr. Des Murdoch. Finally, also helping Laurie Sanchez with his preparation for this match, you won't see him down on the bench, he's up in the stand, is Les Reed, formerly, ironically, a senior coach with the England team. Laurie's also got help from Jerry Armstrong, Terry Gibson and Dave Besant in his management structure. Early minutes important, Graham?
Early minutes are very important for both sides. England's formation is important, how that works early on. If they can get Wayne Rooney on the ball in the sort of areas that he likes to work in, he could provide a really dangerous outlet for England. Equally, Northern Ireland have to work very hard at closing England down, getting their distances from the goal correct so they don't leave a lot of space in behind them, otherwise they get exposed by Michael Owen's runs. And I think they just need to work as hard as they can and unsettle England.
Massimo Busaka from Switzerland, 36-year-old restaurateur, is the man with the whistle. It's the first foul as well, and I think Ashley Cole's going to be a bit of a target on his 2 tackles tonight, but that was James Quinn, who used to play in Holland for Willem II. Never quite fulfilled his potential. He's very good in the air, given the right service.
He certainly is. I saw him play against Poland in their opening qualification match, and he had flashes of excitement, but I think his goal-scoring record for a centre-forward is something that he'd be looking to improve on, and I think but for that, he probably would have had more success in Holland.
Now this is aimed towards Wayne Rooney. It's come off Craigan. Now Stephen Gerrard. Northern Ireland in their traditional green shirts. Centre-backs being examined a bit early on, and Capaldi, who has somewhat mixed memories of the match at Old Trafford. This is Owen. Gerrard. Now Rooney. Owen's in the centre, right Phillips coming in from the far side into the box. Gerrard over-hitting the pass. Laurie Sanchez is already out at the edge of the perimeter area, just reminding his players what their respective duties are. Had a very good session yesterday morning, the Irish team. There's Beckham. Gerrard. Oh, the tackles are flying in already, Graham.
They certainly are. As we expected, though, I think the Northern Ireland players will be looking to really hassle England as much as they can, and just try and unsettle them. And that's you know, the point of playing at home is to start the game as quickly as you can.
Just to see how Luke Young does tonight. He was steady against Wales and playing largely because Gary Neville is unfit. Here's Sean Wright Phillips. Beckham in the quarter gun position, as some people are calling it.
You sense the Northern Ireland fans, every time a tackle's won, the ball goes out of play, something's blocked, they're cheering. So this is something that the Northern Irish players can feed off.
Yes, Laurie Santos' instructions were to really get to grips with England in the marking, covering and channeling sense, but Sean Wright-Phillips has turned Capaldi here. Rooney's in the centre, there's a deflection on the cross, it's a corner.
What a pass from David Beckham. I mean, this quarterback roll, as it's been called, just there, he picked the ball up, came inside, well inside his own half, and he hit a ball slightly with the outside of his foot, enticing the defender to try and intercept it. Goes to Sean Wright-Phillips. Great crossfield pass. Sean Wright-Phillips then one-on-one, he's great at that. I've experienced him running at me a few times, and it's not a nice thing to on a pitch.
Here's Beckham's corner. Rooney goes near post. Ferdinand still in there. Northern Ireland get it away. Steve Davis of Aston Villa was back there helping out. And Capaldi finally completed the clearance. Here's Jamie Carragher, number 6 for England. Ashley Cole. Rooney. Foul by Craig. And the referee wants a quick word here with the Motherwell centre-back. Beckham puts the ball down. And then looks for Wright-Phillips again. It's another beauty. This time his first touch just gave Capaldi a side of the ball. It's a corner. England's second then. For these, Ferdinand and Carragher are both coming forward. Lampard's in there as well. Here's Rio Ferdinand. Getting in real contact on that. Back by Wright-Phillips to Beckham. Driven ball this time. There's Ferdinand again. This is Owen. Little jink inside. Gerrard. Moved across once more to Beckham. Now Carragher. Good, strong play by the centre-back, and then the ball... Well, there was a flag up anyway. I think somebody was offside there.
Yeah, you can see Carragher driving into the box. It's dangerous play when a player gets into that area and he's got a head of steam ahead of him. I think the linesman presumed it was a pass. I think Jamie Carragher was trying to get his own glory by going all the way, but the linesman, obviously once he's given a decision, that's it.
Well, if you're Scottish, you can get the bagpipes out, because there's been a tremendous result in Norway for the Scottish team under Walter Smith. Norway 1, Scotland 2. That keeps Scotland's slim, admittedly, hopes of qualification in that group alive. Kenny Miller of Wolves, the hero against Italy on Saturday, scored both goals tonight. That's up here for a foul by Carragher. Northern Ireland's first attack, really. And here, Craigan will go forward to help the two best headers of the ball in the attack, who are Quinn and Elliott. Capaldi will take it. Oh, it came out to Johnson. Back in again by Hughes.
It's a very poor free kick by Capaldi. The first free kick you get, you want to really make England have to defend that situation. It was a disappointing ball into the box by Capaldi. It nearly worked in Northern Ireland's favour, because it fell to the edge of the box to Damien Johnson, I think, who miscued it.
Capaldi had the misfortune to give the ball away for the first goal. I remember at Old Trafford when England scored 3 in 6 minutes in the second half, 4 in 16 in fact as well, which all came in a bit of a rush as Northern Ireland were concerned after they held England till half-time. In goes Healy there, and I think the man who felt that was Lampard. Anyway, play goes on, Lampard's down, and this is Ashley Cole. Down, Frank Lampard.
Yeah, he's hurt himself there. I think he may have got a boot just below the shin pad and the top of his foot, and he's Frank's quite a tough lad, so I think he must have really felt the full brunt of that challenge.
It was Healy who came in there and certainly made contact.
You see David Beckham getting stuck in, and then the foot of Healy came through, actually came through onto the top of Frank Lampard's knee, and when you've got a stud straight on your kneecap, it's extremely painful, but hopefully he hasn't broken the skin. You know, the pain will settle down, he'll be back on in a few minutes.
Well, Frank Lampard, who's at the moment on a terrific run of consecutive Premiership appearances, the best by an outfield player, and doesn't get injured very often, never seems to miss a game. And now Sven-Göran Eriksson, who did say this week that he thought Lampard had made a slowish start to the season by his standards, sees him coming off for further treatment from Gary Lewin. So England for the moment are down to 10 men here as they defend a long throw. It's come back out to Keith Gillespie and now to Chris Baird. Bit of anxiety on the England bench here about Lampard down below us. Long throw by Baird, looking for Quinn. Here's Michael Owen. Ashley Cole. Two or three of the medical staff attending to Lampard down there. Here's Rio Ferdinand to clear. Beckham, nice touch, right Phillips. But Lampard's now back on his feet and trotting down the touchline. Comes back on. Gets a touch, in fact. You know all about injuries. Does that one he's going to shake on quickly, do you think?
Well, it depends. Obviously, you know, if you get a clean impact on the knee, it's painful, but then it does settle down. I mean, the thing is, if you've actually done any tissue damage or cut yourself, then obviously that has to be looked at. But seeing him back on the pitch, I think it's the sort of injury that will run off.
It's the right knee that's troubled him. Here's Healy. 18 goals, Northern Ireland's record scorer, the number 9. David Healy from Leeds United. For England. Ashley Cole being hustled there by Damien Johnson of Birmingham City. The ball runs out, and Northern Ireland are doing exactly what Sanchez told them to here, giving England no room for manoeuvre. Here's Beckham. England get the free kick. Not from there, surely. Gerrard pulled back. Gary was talking about the nuances of qualification. What happens in the World Cup in Europe, as Sean Wright-Phillips chases this ball here with Capaldi, is that the group winners go through automatically, and the two best runners-up, and that's based on points you've accumulated, and England and Poland for that matter are quite well placed to achieve one of those two positions. In fact, as I said, or as Gary said, if England win here and beat Austria, then Eriksson's team are in the finals. This is Ferdinand. Lampard, Wright-Phillips. Joy against Capaldi, you know.
Yeah, certainly. He's getting himself into a really good position where Capaldi has to watch the ball, but he also has to try and look over his left shoulder and watch Sean Wright-Phillips, who hugs the touchline. Now that gives David Beckham the opportunity to hit quite a bit of space, either in behind the defender or in front of him to Wright-Phillips. And we all know Sean Wright-Phillips is very good when he's running at people at pace. And if he gets that chance, you know, sooner or later, he's going to make use of that.
There speaks a multi-capped international left-back. But Capaldi, actually, to be fair to him, is probably a better player coming forward. I mean, he had a terrific game in Cardiff when Ireland drew 2-2 with 9 men. He was man of the match that night, actually, in the Millennium. I've seen him play for Plymouth as well.
Yeah, he's a very decent player. He's had a good run in the national team and at the club level as well.
This is Gerrard, Bringham. Rooney making a run down the left-hand side, cut out by Baird. Not easy when you're playing reserve team football, which Chris Baird is at the moment at Southampton. A couple of moves, or proposed moves, fell through for him just before the deadline. It's Quinn, but he's been penalised for backing in.
That's a little bit harsh on James Quinn. I think he's paying the penalty for some of Northern Ireland's early sort of quite hard tackles, and the ref has given Jamie Carragher the benefit of the doubt there on a slightly dubious free kick choice.
James Quinn missed the Old Trafford game because he was suspended, but he and Ferdinand have met before when Quinn was at Blackpool and Ferdinand was on loan at Bournemouth. Here's Frank Lampard. Away from Davis, looking for Wright Phillips. Oh, handball given against Wright Phillips.
Yeah, you can see that Capaldi is struggling for pace against Sean Wright Phillips, and I think Sean Wright Phillips felt he could close the ball down. A little bit unfortunate. He's obviously jumped, and naturally your hands go up, and maybe it's just caught him under the arm slightly.
First came here to see England play in 1977 when the security presence was quite overwhelming, the height of the troubles, but Belfast, I would say, as evidence of this, took a rather more serene place these days. The people have given us and the England followers a terrific welcome here. It's a throw into Northern Ireland on the far side. Elliott, who is also quite useful in the air, is jogging around the 6-yard line. That's trying to get a flick on against Luke Young. Quite a few connections between these two nations, other than the obvious ones. Laurie Sanchez is the present manager. Laurie McMenemy was manager here for a while, as well as being assistant manager of England, of course, under Graham Taylor. And Sonny McElroy took over. And we always remember Billy Bingham, who led Northern Ireland to 2 World Cups in the 80s. Probably the most famous goal in Northern Ireland's history, that one by Jerry Armstrong against Spain. And Jerry's a really enthusiastic member of the coaching team again here now. 15 minutes in this World Cup qualifier. Northern Ireland 0, England 0, but a great win for Scotland in Norway. Here's Beckham with the free kick. Cole. Rooney. This pitch is quite narrow, Graham. It hasn't been narrowed, as some people mistakenly thought when they saw it yesterday, but it's Linfield play on a wider pitch when they have the club games here. Here's Rooney. Owen. Typical Michael Owen position and turn. Get a defender the shot.
Yeah, that was England's first sort of real good bit of interplay. Well built up. Michael Owen on the edge of the box. Good first touch. And it's just blocked there. You know, took the pressure off the shot, the weight off the shot, and it was easy for Mike Taylor to collect.
I must just add that the groundsman here assures me this is the FIFA measurement for an international pitch. This is Wright Phillips taking on Capaldi. Owen, Northern Ireland taking their time to get this one away, and it's only as far as Beckham when they do. Lampard plays it to Rooney. Johnson. Jamie Carragher showing a flamboyant attitude coming forward from the back tonight.
He certainly is. Once he gets a head of steam up, he's off, you know, and he's confident enough. He's played in a lot of different positions, so I think he's fairly comfortable coming forward with the ball. And with David Beckham playing that sort of pivotal role, he knows that they've always got numbers behind him to cover his the position he's left.
Beckham again looks first and foremost for Wright Phillips, who just stumbled a bit there as he went past Capaldi.
another fantastic pass by David Beckham. And Sean Wright-Phillips, they've obviously been working on this. Sean Wright-Phillips has got so much confidence in the quality of David Beckham's passing that he's already on the move when David Beckham receives it, which gives the defender a nightmare.
I think Beckham probably will naturally look right rather than left in that position, but we shall see how much they can get Rooney into the game on this side. This is Carragher. Now then, here's Rooney down the left-hand side. We welcome our viewers from BBC Scotland who've just, I'm sure, had a terrific time watching the game in Norway. They've now to our audience here in Belfast. Henry Sanchez has been told to go back into the perimeter box there by the fourth official from Switzerland. He's got a bit overexcited.
He came out onto the pitch because James Quinn didn't win a 50-50 tackle with Wayne Rooney, and I think that would be one of the things he'd be expecting of his players.
Chris Baird has conceded a corner. A long pass by Ferdinand was arrowing towards Rooney there. So Beckham will come across and take the corner from the left. Lampard, Ferdinand and Carragher forming a trio on the far side of the box. It's come out to Wright-Phillips. This is Luke Young with Healy scampering up behind him. There. Good closing down by the centre forward. Capaldi with the cross. Davis is well forward here for Ireland.
This is the disadvantage for England of playing on, as you referred to, a narrow pitch earlier, is that they find it hard to get the space to get their passing movements going. And I think that's playing into Northern Ireland hands slightly. They're able to get numbers behind the ball and congest the pitch, really.
Here's Gerrard. Beckham this time picks out Cole. This is Gillespie. The other way towards Wright-Phillips. He's getting a terrific amount of ball, Beckham, isn't he?
He certainly is, and he's revelling in the role as well. I think he's taking the responsibility with his quality of passing. I think already, you know, we've played 20 minutes and you've had probably 8 David Beckham passes that are textbook passes, you know, the quality of which, you know, is you can't appreciate how technically difficult that is because he makes it look so easy. But that's the position that he's been given allows him to take the time to make that pass, and you really get the sense that this whole sort of team is built around him. People move out the way so he can get the ball. They pass the ball to him whenever they get the chance, and he's got to prove effective in doing this by not only making wonderful passes but making effective wonderful passes.
We're so used to seeing him wide right for England, but we ought to point out that in his first season at Real Madrid he played almost exclusively in central midfield. This is Hughes. Here's the captain again. Cole's on his way on this side. That's dribbling through, possibly to Cole, not quite. Aaron Hughes having to step in something of an emergency for Ireland. This is an offside against Gerrard.
Yeah, that's frustrating for Steve Gerrard. I think, talking about the Beckham situation, I think where England and Sven-Göran Eriksson have to be a little bit careful with this formation is that they don't then take away the qualities that Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard bring to the team. Both wonderful players in their own rights, both do fantastically well for their clubs. And in a sense, you're sort of sacrificing some of their qualities by giving David Beckham that role. Now, that's fine if they can adapt into a different position, but if they can't, then it leaves them, you know, with a certain amount of frustration and little to be involved with.
It's Sean Wright-Phillips for England. He's really going at Aaron Hughes here in the box, and Hughes gets a block, and it's a corner to England. Well, Wright Phillips, he's relishing the chance to get on the ball here and get down the flank. As his father was saying to us beforehand, doesn't get fazed by the big occasion, taking on the Northern Ireland captain here, and England happy with the corner which David Beckham is about to take. Jamie Carragher fell over there. This is Ferdinand. Luke Young staying tight. Damien Johnson. England now funneling back. Foul. Gerrard is now pushing on alongside the main striker. In fact, Rooney's in the centre as well here. Owen's not quite involved at that end of the field just at the moment. He's trotting up there now. Here's Wright Phillips.
That was an excellently timed tackle by Capaldi, and he managed to win the ball and take Sean Wright Phillips out as well. But Sean Wright Phillips is a tough little character. Must take after his father in that respect, because he's picked himself up and he's looking to get the ball again already.
Right father, right son. Here's Lampard, and now it's Gerrard, and England have got good movement here again. Owen going in on the near post. Healy. This is Cole, and the other fullback, Young, got well forward in that last attack. This is Rooney. Mike Taylor, the goalkeeper for Northern Ireland, was 34 last Sunday. It's his 48th cap. So England with the greater share of the play here. To Rooney. Rooney's gone rather more central this last 2 or 3 minutes, Graham.
That's right, he hasn't had much of the ball out on the left, and although he plays a free role, he's predominantly stuck out to the left in the first 15-20 minutes. But now he's starting to move inside, looking for the ball, and again with the qualities that he has, it gives him an excellent opportunity just to find difficult positions and arrive on well-timed runs and cause Northern Ireland defenders problems.
Steve McLaren came out there and made a gesture which suggests to me that they feel on the bench England are playing a bit too deep.
Well, it seems that way slightly, because you see, David Beckham has picked the ball up well inside his own half on a number of occasions. Obviously his distribution has been good, but ultimately it hasn't resulted in it.
Only once in 11 meetings in qualifying matches of Northern Ireland not lost to England. There was a 0-0 draw, which all Irishmen will remember, in 1985 at Wembley. Pat Jennings came out of semi-retirement to play. It was the point Ireland needed to qualify for Mexico. England were already there. Here's Owen. Wright Phillips. Forward by Gerrard. Here he is again. Exchange passes with Young. David Beckham tackled there by James Quinn. Rooney gets past Johnson. Great strength on the ball, Rooney. Now it's Lampard and Gerrard and Lampard. The block was by Hughes.
Northern Ireland limited England's chances, and again there, Frank Lampard, he's got a wonderful strike, but it's 35 yards out, and you've got 8 Northern Irish players behind the ball. So again, Northern Ireland will be looking at this situation. I'm sure Laurie Sanchez will be very satisfied with how his team have started the match.
There's Carragher. Again, Wright Phillips is coming in on the far side, so is Young here. He's gone down, and it's going to be a free kick to England. Which is not the area of the pitch that Northern Ireland would want to concede one.
That was always going to be a foul, this. I think Luke Young, he's already got his eye on Davis, and it's a high foot, studs into the leg, and obviously a free kick, and a very dangerous situation for England to hopefully get a shot on target.
Well, it's always dangerous here when Beckham's around, isn't it? And it was Steve Davis of Aston Villa who gave away the free kick, the foul on Young. Everybody else apart from Beckham has walked away from the ball. A bit of mingling in the wall by Rooney. And Beckham to curl one! Oh, gets the bar. My tape was hurrying across it. I don't think he would have got to it.
It's hard to say because the amount of whip that David Beckham gets on the ball, the amount of curl, it sort of comes into the goal very late. So a goalkeeper's actually got to get past his post almost to stop it going in. You can see it swinging in. It's actually hit the sort of the upright between crossbar and post.
What they call the postage stamp.
There you go.
Well, they used to. That's forward by Davis. And Beckham then supplying the first really defining moment of the game. Here's Rooney. Gerrard making a forward run. Here's Lampard, found him. But he couldn't return the compliment, Gerrard. And Ireland have possession here with Davis, but not for long. This is going to be Ireland's problem, getting enough of the ball to service Quinn and Healy there.
That's right, after 25 minutes, 71% of the possession, I think, to England. And they carry on dominating like this, eventually they will open Northern Ireland up.
Well, Northern Ireland are diving in a bit here. Frank Lampard, was a yellow card been shown there. Frank Lampard was the player who was fouled. And that's Damien Johnson of Birmingham City, number 8, who has been given the yellow card. I think he's already served one suspension in this group for 2 yellows. So, Beckham puts the ball down 30 yards out, maybe a bit more. 3 in the wall. Hit the bar last time. Can he get it over the wall from here, I wonder? Doesn't need to. Chipped in. But this is Rooney. Lampard. Still up there following the free kick. And covering here was Cole. Lampard out to Young. Careless play by England there has given Johnson possession. Now Elliott, who hasn't really managed to get into the game yet on that left-hand side. Prolific scorer for Hull City last season. Here's Beckham. Rooney. Owen following up, it's still Rooney. And Lampard trying to get this, no he can't.
Wayne Rooney will be disappointed with himself there. Frank Lampard made an excellent run around him and Wayne Rooney just took it one step too much. I think he tried to commit the defender to leaving Frank and stepping forward. He gets the ball well here. Quite lucky with the break, but then he should have passed the ball there, but he holds on to it too long. Frank Lampard has to stop his run, otherwise he's going to be offside. By the time the ball's played, it's beyond the reach of Frank, and unfortunately for Wayne Rooney, it's one of his rare bad decisions that he's made when in possession of the ball. He's normally a fantastic decision.
News from Warsaw, where John Toshak's men are defending stoutly against Poland by the sound of it. Poland 0, Wales 0 after half an hour. Wales could do it. Oh, it's half-time, in fact, now there, so nothing's happened even in the last 15 minutes. 0-0, Poland-Wales. That could do England a favour, of course, if Wales could take something from the Poles. Here's Gillespie. Matches all over Europe, well, all over the world, actually, this week in World Cup qualification. We'll be showing you at the end of the programme who's already got through to Germany. This is Baird with the throw for Northern Ireland. Quinn's in there, and the header out. Goodness me, that was a half chance really on the turn. It's come back to Capaldi. It was Healy who had the shot, but he's offside this time. His first chance was the better one there.
Certainly was. I think England obviously have to be very careful when they've got so much possession. Very easy to switch off. You get a situation with Chris Baird on the throw-in wide right. He's got a long throw aiming for James Quinn. They get a sort of Jamie Carragher actually flicks it on, falls to Healy, and Rio Ferdinand does well to block the first attempt. Unfortunately for England, Healy's offside on the second.
Now the referee is coming across to speak to the fourth official. Maybe something on the touchline there that's concerning. In fact, the fourth official has now gone running down to speak to... We'll get a clue in a minute what that's all about, I hope. Here's Gillespie. Quinn. Gillespie again. New lease of life. He was at Leicester for a couple of seasons. His career's taken one or two turns. Keith Gillespie, formerly Manchester United and Newcastle, of course, but he won't be able to do much about that. It's a corner to England, which Beckham will take from the left-hand side. Rio Ferdinand makes a run across. Healy to latch onto the loose ball here. Coles followed him across the pitch and dispossessed him. A decent little pass from Luke Young. This is Frank Lampard, right across to Beckham. Poised to make a run to the near post here. Delivery, Graham.
Disappointing. Not quite as good if he'd been as if he'd been naturally left-footed, but I'm not going to complain because my right foot's nothing like his. So I think David Beckham had a chance there to actually bring the ball inside and maybe have a shot himself, but he chose to try and be provider again. And I really feel that, you know, again, if you can continue to get him on the ball, you know, he'll cause more damage.
This match is following a very similar pattern to the first one at Old Trafford last March. This was the way of it in the first half there, and Northern Ireland held out till just after the break. And then the floodgates open. Here's Davis. Down the middle goes Healy. Cut off by Carragher. Gerrard. Seventh consecutive victory in qualifying matches tonight. It really has been Eriksson's métier winning these qualifiers, if not going on from there to win trophies, but hopefully that might change. This is Johnson. We have 10 minutes left in the first half at Windsor Park.
Start to get a sense of Northern Ireland's limitations. You see Healy and Quinn up front, very isolated. Neither of them are particularly quick. So even though they're playing quite long passes trying to get in behind the England back four, it's pretty difficult for them because they haven't got the pace to actually outrun anybody. And that results in the fact that they've got to just keep playing passes, hopeful passes, or passes in front of England's defence.
England, of course, had to be patient in Cardiff, didn't they, before the Joe Cole goal. Having to be patient again here, and in fact for the moment having to defend because Chris Baird with the long throw. Elliott's drifting across the box here. Quinn's in there too. It's come out to Beckham. Well, Luke Young there was pulled up. It's not going to be free kick though, it's a throw-in. He just didn't quite get hold of the ball there. And Northern Ireland using these long throws to try to get the ball when they can on the head of Quinn, but he was so well marked there, they just chose another option. And here comes Paul Robinson, who's hardly had anything to do. Rooney, stopped by Johnson. Free kick to Northern Ireland.
Again, we've seen this a few times with Wayne Rooney with England, certainly. He gets frustrated because he's not getting the ball. And Wayne Rooney is at his happiest when he's involved in the game, in every minute of the game. And so far, I can only think of a couple of occasions that he's had the ball and he's made the wrong selections. He's getting frustrated, and again, he's starting to sort of show that animatedly to the referee and to the assistant referee as well.
Well, he was guilty of shirt pulling there and has to be a little bit careful, because another yellow card tonight would rule Rooney out of the Austria game. This is taken by Baird. Right across towards Elliott. Cragen stays forward. Chance maybe for Quinn. And because it came back off Ferdinand, Robinson had to kick. Wright Phillips with Owen making a run through that channel. Wright Phillips again. When the fixture list came out that Wales and Northern Ireland would really dig in their home games and make life difficult for England, and that's precisely what's happening. Frank Lampard to Jamie Carragher.
Frustrating for England now. Rio Ferdinand's on the ball. He hasn't really got any options. He's got passes on, but they're all dangerous passes.
This is Wright Phillips. He's got Gerrard to his right. He's got Owen to his left. Sean Wright Phillips running into a number of green shirts there. It was Davis who finally got the ball away. Here he is again now looking for Healy. He's marked by Carragher. That's a foul by Healy.
With it, again, like I say, with England with the formation, they've got so many people close to the ball. You've got little passes there by Frank Lampard round the corner to Sean Wright Phillips, but they're not really going anywhere with these passes. They've got to be a little bit more direct and get forward runners so they can try and break the lines of the Northern Irish defence and midfield.
Lampard forward to Gerrard. Now Beckham joining in. Gerrard again. He's got Cole coming up on this side. Michael Owen darting forward. That's a poor cross by Ashley Cole standards.
That's disappointing, but sort of feeling sorry for Ashley Cole in a little way, because he looked up, perfect opportunity to put in an excellent ball, but he looks up, he's trying to hit a space that's virtually impossible to hit, because he's only got Michael Owen who's making the best effort he can to get into the box. So again, you're getting a good wide position, some good interplay, but ultimately Ashley Cole's under pressure to provide a pinpoint cross, over concentrates and kicks the ball out for a simple goal kick for Northern Ireland.
Well, Eriksson hasn't come up with the answer yet, or his team haven't. Five minutes left in the first half as Quinn there grapples and Elliott gets in for Northern Ireland on the far side. Young trying to shut him down. This is Davis, and now it's Capaldi, and that's come out to Johnson. They've got green shirts forward here, but Healy there didn't get the right contact on that pass. Rooney. Again by Wayne Rooney, really. He completely wasted the free kick.
He certainly did, and he's showing his youth, Wayne, you know, and he's had plenty of opportunity to learn from sort of, you know, mistakes, but it's one of these situations where, you know, I have a great sympathy for him, because as I've said, he just wants to play football. He wants to be involved all the time, but he's lost his discipline.
Graham, it's a yellow card. It's a yellow card for Rooney. Beckham's trying to cool him down. He's in trouble here. He's out of the next game, Wayne Rooney, against Austria, and he's lost it for the moment. Absolutely lost it. With opponents, with teammates, and with the officials. Beckham, as you watch the replay, he's used his arm, Graham. There can be no excuse for that.
And actually, he's fortunate to get away with a yellow card. I mean, I had sympathy with him up until that point, and then obviously, you know, complete lack of discipline, and you know, quite frankly, it's you know, the fact that he can't control that side of his game, and his position, the quality that he has, he needs to be able to do that. He really needs to learn.
Well, more of Rooney in a minute. Let's just deal with the free kick first, which Capaldi will take with his left foot. Quinn is right in there, so is Cragen. Elliott jumping now. Well, this is back to the Spain game, wasn't it, when Wayne Rooney had a burst of temperament and Sven-Göran Eriksson brought him off, substituted him. Now he's Mr. Angry again, ruled out of the next qualifier for 2 yellow cards, and treading right on the edge here, Graham.
Yeah, he is. You know, I myself, when I played, I was very animated, aggressive in certain situations, and it is hard when you lose control on the pitch. It's such an emotional game, and we play with passion, and you don't want to take that away from the player. So it's a constant battle trying to deal with it and keeping it under wraps. But you've got to contribute to your team. You know, you can't just try and beat the world by yourself.
Well, unfortunately, he seems to be taking the world on at the moment, and dare I suggest that part of this frustration could be because he's stuck out here on the left wing.
Well, certainly, I think, as I said before about Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard, playing David Beckham in that position is fine. If Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, and in this case Wayne Rooney, feel that they can contribute in a way to the game, if you take away these guys' qualities, they're all exceptional players, and you're doing them a disservice by not allowing them to play their stuff.
Quinn getting up there, it nearly fell for Healy, and Northern Ireland are very much in the fight at the moment. There's free kick here to England, and at the moment I think it'll be better for Rooney when half-time comes.
It certainly will. It'll give him a chance to actually take a new perspective on the last 10 minutes of the game, get his head down, have some water, whatever he needs to do, and just reassess the situation, because he's not doing himself any favours, and he's better than that. That's the frustrating thing. He's a wonderful player. He doesn't need to make things more complicated for himself.
David Beckham really did take some time out to try and get hold of Rooney when that happened as the captain, and I'm sure there'll be things said by Eriksson and McLaren in the dressing room at half-time. And anyway, Northern Ireland here with 3 players backing into the penalty area. Elliott's there, Quinn and Healy. This is Quinn making a nuisance of himself. Gerrard with a half clearance. Now Rooney, he won't get that one either. And there's an England injury on the edge of the area. Gerrard, I think.
I'm not convinced, John. I must admit, I look at the players and I just don't see, you know, it doesn't look like they're comfortable doing what they're, you know, with the detail they've been given. And it's obviously frustrating for them. I think Northern Ireland are going to go in, if they can remain 0-0 till half-time, they're going to go in very satisfied.
Absolutely. The system, as you say, it's Gerrard now, though. Owen's in the middle. And Owen with a chance here, overhead kick. Oh, straight at Taylor. England's clearest scoring chance of the half for Michael Owen.
That was a great play by Steven Gerrard, bursting forward from midfield. Michael Owen's good first touch, he's up in the air, and he's just had a gamble. He's not made the best contact on that, but with an overhead kick, you never know what's going to happen. Unfortunately for Mike Taylor, it's straight into his palms and saved it comfortably.
1 minute of overtime to be played at the end of this first half. Gillespie on the ball for Northern Ireland, takes on goal and beats it, and then carries on. This is Healy. Now Johnson, Elliott's coming in from the far side. Doesn't win it though. Davis. I think we can safely say, coming up to half-time, that this England system has not been a roaring success by any stretch of the imagination. The two highlights, the two moments that Sven-Göran Eriksson may dwell on, David Beckham did hit the angle of crossbar and post with a free kick, and Wayne Rooney then lost his temper, got booked, got suspended from the next game, and then had to be calmed down by colleagues. And as they walk off, Gerrard has gone to Rooney to have a few consoling words. Ferdinand coming up alongside him. Rooney still looking furious. But for Northern Ireland and Laurie Sanchez, who's just checking on his watch there, he must feel pretty satisfied with his team's performance out there. They've done exactly what he asked them to do, and they've really not only contained England, they've frustrated them, and nobody more so than this man. And as he goes off to what might be a bit of a wigging in the dressing room, or certainly some close attention, The half-time situation at Windsor Park, Belfast, in Group 6 of the World Cup qualifying competition in Europe is Northern Ireland 0, England 0.
And the battling draw is still on in.
Yeah, I think it's very important the first 15 minutes. Got to start with the same tempo. Try and turn them early, make sure they stretch the game for them. Don't let us get pressed back and try and keep in their faces for sure for 10 minutes.
The
Irish are winding me up, they're getting on my nerves a bit.
We just saw Wayne Rooney. He stays on the pitch. He looks a little bit calmer. I'm sure the same is true of Graham Lasso and John Motson.
Well, we hope so, Gary, yeah. Just a couple of things. Rooney, as I understood it from Sven-Göran Eriksson, I did ask him this question this morning, was not told to play wide on the left by the touchline. The idea was for him to play closer to Owen than that, whereas Wright Phillips on the other side was told to stay wide. And the other little thing, as he's talking to is Joey Armstrong there as they walk down the side there, Sven-Göran Eriksson. I think that Scotland group, I just strike a cautionary note there, because if Slovenia win that game in Moldova where they're leading, I think you'll find that Scotland will be back in third place. Anyway, we'll see. And quite a few well-known characters around. There's Billy Bingham. 2 World Cups, as I said. Once got married on the same day Northern Ireland played at Wembley, I remember. And Northern Ireland now have got to get past the 47th minute, because that's when Joe Cole opened the scoring at Old Trafford back in March. 2 minutes into the second half, and then they collapsed. Something that they'll be doing their level best not to repeat tonight. And also the mystery about the fourth official. The referee was concerned because the giant video screen in one corner of the pitch here replayed an incident which he didn't want, for some reason, to be shown to the crowd. It had one of his perhaps more contentious decisions, and he asked the fourth official to stop them showing that kind of replay on the screen. But don't worry, we'll show you them all here. Probably more than once as well. Anyway, this is Beckham for England, spreading it wide, and now Rooney, well, he won't get that because he has come inside. You thought maybe, Graham, that Joe Cole would be introduced if things didn't get any better?
Well, I certainly think if it continues this way, they'll be looking for fresh legs, and Joe Cole, great individual ability that it has maybe done a little bit better in the recent games on the left-hand side than the frustration that we've seen in Wayne Rooney tonight. But I'm glad to see Wayne Rooney back on the pitch for the second half. I think it's always a shame when players are taken off at half-time for those sort of decisions. He's got a chance to prove that it's all sort of behind him.
Yes, I don't think Eriksson likes taking the high-profile players off in competitive games. He does it often enough in friendlies. This is Wright Phillips to Young. Goes with Beckham. It's Cole to Lampard. Healy penalised.
I think Alan Hansen made a great point at half-time about best players playing in their best positions, and something I was trying to allude to during the game, the first half, that the quality that we have on there, these players are at their absolute peak, and we should be getting the best out of them by encouraging them to play and do what they're good at.
This is one of them, Lampard. There's another one, Gerrard. It's a good cross, headed away by Aaron Hughes from Owen. Good defending by the Northern Ireland captain. Beckham. Gerrard, that's better, into Lampard's path. Finding Owen early, Gerrard's backing up here. Rooney coming in far side.
Nice build-up play by England there. Lampard combining with Gerrard. Some good passing, a nice little clip pass to the far post, but unfortunately it was just a little bit short for Wayne Rooney. A comfortable headed back by Chris Baird, who did excellent there, just cushioning it down for Mike Taylor.
So Northern Ireland have held out for longer than they did in the first game. And, still getting to the ball, getting into the tackle. Davis, as they were instructed to do by Ronnie Sanchez. Again there, Owen not given time really to collect the ball. Hughes at his back all the time. They're like ships in the night, those two. Owen's just joined Newcastle and Hughes has just left Newcastle. to go to Aston Villa. Really, Owen playing an international with Newcastle United after his moment. He hasn't even made his debut.
Such is the nature of our business.
Here he is now. They'll be free kick to England. They'll be waiting with bated breath for that first appearance on Tyneside on Saturday against Fulham. And it goes to Rooney from Beckham. Owen following up. Beckham was knocked over there by Davis. Northern Ireland's concentration has to be 110% all the time. It's a point the coach made to them yesterday. Here's Rooney. Young. Right Phillips. So Northern Ireland throw too. Since England played in Belfast. The two previous qualifiers here between the two teams haven't been that easy for England either. There's been a 2-0 and a 1-0. Remember Mark Hateley scoring here in a single goal victory in the 80s. Now Ferdinand's going to let that off. Didn't take a chance there, leaving it for Robinson because Quinn's quite a handful.
Difficult ball actually, the ball was quite lofted, had a bit of backspin on it, and I think when it bounced, rather than bouncing through to Paul Robinson, it bounced up in the air and landed almost in between them.
Rooney trying to chase the ball down here. This is Gillespie. Capaldi. Elliott. It's a tackle by Sean Wright-Phillips on the edge of the box, and it's a free kick to Northern Ireland. This could spell a bit of danger for England. They've got Quinn, Elliott and the centre-back as well, Cragen, who are all handy in the air. He's coming up on the back of the three there. No, it's overhit, and the chance is gone, really.
That's disappointing for Northern Ireland. You know, they're not going to get many opportunities to deliver good set pieces in dangerous areas. And again, the first set piece of either the first half or the second half is crucial. And it's wasted, you know. Keith Gillespie's got completely under the ball, leant back as he struck it, and it's gone flying past for a goal kick. Easy for England.
So far, so good for Laurie Sanchez. Jamie Carragher. Oh, well, I think he should have been given a free kick there, but he didn't get it. This is Gillespie. Baird. No, it's Gerrard in the way. Now Carragher tries to release his former clubmate, Michael Owen.
John, is that even if England go on to win this game and win it comfortably, I think people would be taking the opinion that they're not convinced by the way the team are playing, the way they're approaching the game, the way individuals are playing. And it's easy to criticise individual players and, you know, maybe say they're not working hard, but they seem to be getting to the ball late. They seem to be not following their runners. They seem not to quite understand, as I've said before, really what they're meant to be doing, and that's a worry.
Free kick to Northern Ireland. Joe Cole preparing to come on. Cragen forward again. So, of course, is Quinn. That is Quinn now. And headed back across, and Robinson under pressure from Elliott there. It wasn't an easy ball, really. Stuart Elliott got right into the thick of it, underneath the crossbar with Robinson.
There's a situation where the ball's bouncing around and, you know, goalkeeper's having to come out and really risk himself to get the ball. It's hard to see.
Well, Yeah.
It's a lottery, really. You never know quite what's going to happen.
Now then, we did say that Ericsson wouldn't take off one of his high-profile players. I don't mean that Sean Wright-Phillips isn't, because he will be one day, but he's the easy man to go off, really. And Joe Cole has come on. So, 16 Cole. Now, Graham, explain to me how he fits into the system now.
Well, Joe Cole obviously is going to play, I would think, slightly narrower than Sean Wright-Phillips. He's not got the pace that Sean Wright-Phillips has. He's maybe happier coming off the line a little bit more, so possibly trying to link up a little bit more with Michael Owen.
And he is, of course, on his natural side on the right, is he not? Having played on the left, having to come inside when we've seen him before.
He is, but I thought, quite honestly, I thought he's done all right when he's played on the left. So, again, it's another change, another position for Joe to play, another position for players around him to sort of try and work out what his qualities are, get the ball from the right areas.
Well, he scored the goal in Cardiff on Saturday with the help of a Gabidon deflection, but it was Cole's goal, and he'll be dead keen to do that again here. He's on the ball now. But it's Davis of Northern Ireland who brings it away, and he finds Healy. Quinn coming in from the far side, and Davis goes in on the near post. Robinson claims.
They're certainly punching above their weight, Northern Ireland. They're giving a good account of themselves and looking dangerous and going forward now.
Not to tempt fate, but there is an air of authority about the England goalkeeper, isn't there, Paul Robinson? He's growing in the job.
Certainly he's confident, you can see that just in the way he expresses himself, the way he comes to collect balls, the way he kicks the ball as well, which is very important. And that's crucial for a goalkeeper.
Here's Cole, Joe Cole. Owen waiting in the centre. Gerrard is there too, he's got it, back to Rooney. Two Northern Ireland defenders shutting down Rooney's shot. This is Beckham. Joe Cole. Owen near post, and that just drifts away.
That's an excellent ball by Joe Cole. He's had two attacks there, two good crosses, one to the far post, and then the second one where he's checked back, swung at him with his left foot. And quite frankly, Mike Taylor in that position, the ball's coming into him, he doesn't know whether to come and try and collect it, or if somebody's arriving, they've got every chance of just getting in front of him and nicking a goal at the near post.
Steve McLaren is making some frantic signals from the edge of the England 10th perimeter by the touchline. I don't quite know whether that's to try and, you know, Graham, don't you?
Yeah, Wayne Rooney, I think they're trying to get Wayne Rooney to play as maybe an orthodox striker, as he would do, as a 4-4-2. I think he's looking to maybe try and get him just to play slightly behind the flank.
What with Gerrard moving out to the left?
It looks that way.
Here's Quinn. Wasn't a bad effort, was it?
Wasn't a bad effort. Oh, great teamwork there by me and you, I think. No, I spotted the Rooney bit, you spotted the Gerrard bit.
Well, that's what we're paid for, mate.
What's that?
Oh, no, I don't know. We better not get into that. Listen, James Quinn here, 40th cap tonight, 4 goals for Northern Ireland, and really, coming out of League Two, he's probably playing above his normal, well, he is, his normal weekly station here, but he's got a bit about him. This is Lampard for England to Cole. Forward by Ferdinand. Cole is in behind Capaldi here. There's the flag up. Got too far.
Yeah, he just makes his run. It's a good run. Slightly mistimed, but I mean, you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt because it's a very well-timed run and just fractionally offside.
Yeah, Rooney's definitely playing more central now. There's no question about that. Although Gerrard hasn't really gone left. In fact, at the moment there isn't a left-sided player at all.
Some would say there hasn't been for years, John.
Well, that was yeah, it occurs to me. But actually, Cole will have to slot into that when he gets, as he is now, when he gets the chance to come forward. This is Beckham. Joe Cole.
Again, it can become confusing because there's a lot of talking between Steve McLaren, David Beckham, other players on the pitch.
Yes, this is Joe Cole coming inside. Gerrard, Ashley Cole, Owen waiting. It's too long for him. Capaldi wasn't sure who was behind him. Yes, it was was thought in Cardiff on Saturday that there was a bit of confusion about how England should readjust when certain changes were made, wasn't there?
Well, what you're doing, you're trying to coach people one way and work on a system all week or however long you've had to prepare for a match. And then suddenly, 25 minutes to go, you're under a bit more pressure to obviously get the result. And then not only do you change personnel, you're changing formation as well, and people have to adapt to that. And it's up to defenders to take a different responsibility. David Beckham now is playing a different role, Steven Gerrard the same. And by making one change, you're actually affecting maybe 6 or 7 different players.
We couldn't lip read there, but clearly there's something still going on between Ericsson and McLaren as to what's supposed to be happening out there. This is a free kick to England. Beckham, whose role hasn't changed in the reshuffle. This is Young. This is Lampard. Ashley Cole. Rooney. Lampard. Oh, there's some flight on that. It's a goal kick though. Beckham thought it was a corner. In fact, he's certain it is. But the referee's not.
Yeah, it was a corner. The way the ball sort of flew past the post, you could just see that it was just bending away. It obviously caught a deflection as he hit it. Good turn by Frank. Again, this is the first time he's been in this sort of position. That's a dangerous position for him. Lots of time on the edge of the box. I think it's just caught somebody that's gone past, or Mike Taylor's maybe got a hand to it.
I'll tell you what, I think this is a good save. See, this is here. I think that's a brilliant save by Mike Taylor. Eh?
Fantastic save.
You did need to see it a couple of times, but there's no question it was his fingertips that turned the ball round. It should have been a corner, but let's hope he gets a bit of credit for that, because it was a really good piece of goalkeeping.
He's an excellent goalkeeper, actually. He's worked hard, really hard. He's in incredibly good shape, and he's very athletic for a goalkeeper, and has always impressed me in the Premiership.
I saw a lot of him at Barnet, actually, Graham, when Ray Clements was manager there and signed him. Of course, he went on from there to bigger things. Birmingham City now, previously Fulham. This is Lampard. Quinn up against Carragher. Well, an hour gone. Northern Ireland still holding England at bay. There is Mr. Clements, happily recovered from his recent illness and back in the England fold. I think I'm right in saying it's Ray's 100th match with England as the goalkeeping coach tonight. Another centurion, to add to what we were saying earlier. Here's Cole. Here. This is Quinn. Healy goes to the left, so does Davis. Now Northern Ireland are thrown. I want to ask you a question about Beckham in a minute, but we'll stay with this because Ireland always look to get something out of these set plays. Quinn and Elliott lining up on the 6-yard area, but neither one able to get to the ball. Davis with Young now. I mean, Ian Derry quite rightly made the point that the Beckham passing was a masterclass, but has he been in a position to play what you call the absolute killer ball?
And that's exactly it, John. I think, you can't discredit him for his qualities, but he's got to be effective. We said that in the first half. He has to be effective in what he does, and that's creating chances.
Here's Quinn. Gillespie on the far side. And now it's Baird. Northern Ireland having a bit of possession here. Back to Gillespie. Turned in. So carry on with what you were saying. Sorry about Beckham.
No, I just think that anybody, they've got qualities. David Beckham's made a name for himself with his fantastic deliveries, and he has to be able to provide from a deeper position those same sort of killer passes. That's what he needs to be able to do.
Yellow card here for Capaldi for that last tackle. Plymouth fullback just diving in a bit here and booked.
He's got 25 minutes on a yellow card against Joe Cole. I don't envy him at all.
No. Looks a bit puzzled, Sven, doesn't he? Biting his nails a bit.
It's a motion for you.
Yes, he's not exactly ranting and raving, is he? Ferdinand across to Carragher. Ferdinand. Oh, it's careless. And it's Quinn. Elliott. And now Beckham. Looking for Joe Cole. That's a nicely delivered ball as well. In the middle of Rooney and Owen. Lampard's joining them now. And Cole does get the ball in, and Taylor comes out and picks it off Owen's head.
Once again, he got two relatively short centre forwards there. Wonderful play by Joe Cole, great in-swinging ball, but with Michael Owen by himself, more or less, Wayne Rooney arriving, has to be inch perfect.
Well, Quinn's pulling Ferdinand's shirt all over the place there. And he knows it too.
He won't be too bothered about that. Giving a free kick away down there will relieve the Northern Irish defence and get them a little bit of respite.
Here's Lampard. Cole. Quite knew what was around him there. Say the England build-up has been long and laboured at times. I mean, Gary always says that England play better at a higher tempo. They haven't quite got into that tempo tonight, I don't think. This is Ferdinand to Gerrard.
No, they certainly haven't. They're, a lot of short passes, allowing teams to get the Irish team to get behind the ball.
Owen, will he get a free kick there? Yes, he does. Could be handy for England, this. Johnson penalised. Ferdinand is coming forward. Beckham will take it. Carragher's in there as well. Rooney's header just pulled off his marker to meet the cross. We're approaching the halfway point in the second half. Would you envisage another substitution?
Well, quite possibly. I mean, in a sense, you could ask the question why, maybe with Joe Cole coming on, why not put him on the left-hand side, bring Beckham to the right and play Lampard and Gerrard in the middle, as Ericsson has lined them up before, and they seem to be a bit more comfortable doing that. Looking at it now, I sort of think that they'll be looking for another option up front, with possibly maybe bringing Michael Owen off and bringing on someone like Jermaine Defoe. Yeah, that's an alternative, isn't it? This is Lampard. Of course, Ericsson did say slightly concerned about Owen's lack of match practice recently. This is Joe Cole. Rooney and Owen again looking a little frustrated that that ball didn't come in earlier. This is Beckham. Now Owen makes a run across the box. Beckham picks him out. No, there's a flag up. Offside given. You get the sort of distinct feeling now that if England are going to win this game, it's going to be down to a piece of individual brilliance, as opposed to a collectively great piece of work that's born out of the system, the way the team flow when they're in possession. And I think with Joe Cole's goal against Wales, element of luck about it, but created this situation, I think it really is going to boil down to one piece of magic from a quality player that the England team has if we're going to win.
Or maybe a mistake by Northern Ireland, because they haven't made one yet, not a critical one anyway, have they?
No, that's true, that's true.
Been very focused, Laurie Sanchez's team. This is Gerrard. Now, Ashley Cole, well forward. But unable to reach that. Well, I don't see too much activity at the moment down on the England bench, nor indeed has Laurie Sanchez at the moment made I think Jermaine Defoe probably had a little bit of exercise. Cole. Interception. Aaron Hughes has played ever so well at the back, you know, Graham. Real captain's performance.
That's right, he's had a fantastic game, intercepted, been brave, read the game very well, and he's a quality player.
He's a good player. Aston Villa will get the benefit of that, no doubt, this season. Look where Frank Lampard is there, he's virtually playing on the edge of his own penalty area.
That's right, and then if England do break forward, he's in no position to help.
Cole. In goes Owen. He's done well there. But Hughes is so on, that's a free kick. Assistant referee flags against Hughes. So opportunity again here for England from the set piece. Beckham takes it early. Rooney's waiting.
That was quick thinking by David Beckham, and unfortunately Wayne Rooney didn't quite connect with it.
Well, the Irish supporters were hoping for a real buoyant performance from their team tonight. They've seen a resilient one, that's for sure. This is Healy. Northern Ireland still have Wales to come here on October the 8th, the same day England play Austria. You can see both those matches with us. And also England-Poland on the 12th. Quite how significant that will be remains to be seen, but England aren't exactly going about winning this, the first of the two they have to win with this performance. This is Gerrard. Poland are 1-0 up still against Wales. Here's Gillespie for Ireland. Healy out wide. I thought it was going to be an own goal for a minute. Robinson has managed to get to the ball. He's injured in the process, by the way. Collided with Quinn. But that was a nasty moment for England. David Healy pulled wide, and the cross is clearly deflected here by an England player, and Robinson had to be smart.
Yeah, he took a kick in the head for his bravery there, Paul Robinson. Very dangerous play. Healy gets in a good position. As we're talking about, you get any decent player getting behind a defence can cause them problem if they make the right selection. That's a lovely ball across the face of England's goal. Slight deflection from Jamie Carragher, but if that's slightly further back, Quinn has got every opportunity of scoring a goal.
Well, it was perhaps one of the better moments for Northern Ireland, or nearly could have been. This is Beckham's pass, but it's right onto the head of Craigan. Poland leading Wales still, as I said, and would then, well, they're 2 points clear of England at the start of play. These results remain the same. They go 4 points clear. This is Beckham. Young. And Luke Young forces the corner.
Another good piece of defending by Aaron Hughes there. Read the situation, saw that Capaldi was in trouble, and Luke Young has had a decent performance today again.
He has. Now then, Ferdinand Bizarre, Pierre Carragher's in there too. Mike Taylor just comes out, makes that look easy.
That's comfortable for Mike Taylor. They like that sort of thing. It makes them look good.
Here's Quinn up against Ashley Cole. First ever match in Belfast between these two was in 1882, would you believe? And I don't think Northern Ireland have been playing football too long there, because England won 13-0. Tonight they can't get one. Here's Davis. Oh, he's onside. Healy for Northern Ireland. Real chance. And he scored. Oh, what a moment for Northern Ireland. David Healy scores their first goal against England for 25 years. Laurie Sanchez's team in the lead. And Belfast and Windsor Park has gone crazy. Let's look at these scenes. And England are embarrassed. Healy, the all-time top scorer, writes his name here in the record books. Were England looking for an offside? Well, there wasn't. Well, it looked it from there, but the linesman didn't flag, and Healy belted that with his right foot away from Paul Robinson. And Northern Ireland 1, England 0. Did you ever believe that was possible?
I certainly did, and that's a fantastic little pass by Davis. Great first touch by Healy, and talk about calm, collected finish. What power there. Fantastic finish, and quite frankly Northern Ireland deserve the goal given the way they've played in the last 20 minutes.
Terry Cochrane, the last man to do that in 1980 at Wembley, to score for Northern Ireland against England. But this goal could be so much more significant. And David Healy, the lead striker, it's his 19th international goal in his 46th match. It's a great output when you think how Northern Ireland are often on the defensive. Now, was he offside, Graham Lasso?
I don't think he was. Rio Ferdinand is the last man, and he's static. And then David Healy, what a finish that is. Paul Robinson got a hand to it, but what a great finish into the far corner. They've got so much time on the ball.
No wonder this ground is jubilant. We're about 10 minutes away, if things stay like this, from Northern Ireland's first win over England in Belfast since 1927. Here's Lampard.
I think whatever happens, John, it's a disaster for England, because not only today's performance, the way that the team have performed, the lack of understanding that they seem to have. We also look back at the Denmark game a few weeks ago, and that's England's worst goal deficit for some time. And it's a frustrating time for everyone involved in it.
Well, I'll tell you what, the press weren't kind to Ericsson after the win in Wales. Goodness knows what they're going to say here if this isn't changed. Jermaine Defoe to come on in place of Steven Gerrard. England are desperate.
And everything about Steven Gerrard's body language then coming off sums up England's performance. Head down,
Yeah, well, listen, England have got to go and try and get a goal, and in doing so, they may leave gaps. That was Damien Johnson. Now the goal scorer, Healy. Elliott's made a long run down the centre. Northern Ireland, well, they're living some sort of dream at the moment.
They certainly are, but they've deserved, the quality of finishing. They've just got behind England on a previous occasion. That's the second time they've gotten behind them, and as I said, what a fantastic finish by David Healy. That's composure, and that shows his quality. He needs to get in those positions. But on the other hand, by contrast, England have immense quality, but don't get their players at the moment in those positions to have goal-scoring opportunities.
No, I'll just come on to the Wales game in a minute, Graham, when we've got this free kick taken. Quinn, England it would be horrendous, surely, for them to concede a second. I think Chris Baird may have got a yellow card there for delaying taking that, Graham. That's why I was anxious to get rid of that first. Wales, by the way, have lost in Warsaw by 1-0. Now, Poland here could go 5 points clear of England in this group. Defoe on the other end of this, maybe. Owen running on. Free kick to England. Ferdinand was standing absolutely still when Healy ran through to score the goal, obviously looking for an offside flag. Here's Ashley Cole. Owen. Lampard. This is Young to Cole. It's gone out, or the crossing has been poor, really poor.
That's disappointing for Joe Cole there. He did well to get into the position, but disappointing with the cross, and obviously, you know, lets Northern Ireland off the hook again. I'm just trying to work out, we seem to have so many players of a similar kind in forward positions. It's actually confusing just watching the game. You've got Jermaine Defoe, Michael Owen, Wayne Rooney, all playing up front, all similar sorts of players, all rely on the same sort of possession, and quite frankly, you're limiting your options by having those three players all on the pitch at the same time, I would suggest.
Well, here's going to be a Northern Ireland substitution. Laurie Sanchez is going to send on Warren Feeney, who scored from a penalty against Azerbaijan on Saturday. Warren Feeney, whose father and grandfather both played for Northern Ireland, third-generation international, comes on to replace James Quinn. Feeney plays for Luton Town. Well, those are the jubilant Irish fans. The England fans at the other end have been chanting, "What a load of rubbish." And I have to also report, some of them shouted, "Sack the Swede." There they are. Well, I'm afraid it will be, unless England salvage something in this last 12 minutes or so. It's Gillespie on the ball for Northern Ireland. I've seen a bit of Feeney at Luton Town actually this season, Graham. He's a lively customer, and he'll bring fresh legs up there after Quinn had done an awful lot of donkey work, the man who's gone off.
The thing is, they've got the bit between their teeth, the Northern Irish. The fans are really urging them on. You know, they conceivably they could go on and get another goal.
It's a corner to Northern Ireland. Up goes Craigan. Well, this would be a moment of modern football history. Owen Hargreaves is waiting to come on for England. And it's going to be Frank Lampard. That tells you something. Two of the players who've come off are Gerrard and Lampard. What's Hargreaves going to do, Graham?
That's it. I've got a visual there of David Beckham standing with both his hands out by his side, looking at the bench, asking what, why, what are we, you know, what are we doing? Now Beckham's moved to the right now. Hargreaves is playing as central midfield.
10 minutes away, Northern Ireland, from their first victory over England since 1972, and their first here for getting on for 80 years. This is Rooney for England. And they've forced a corner. Well, taken short. Lobbed back in by Rooney, high and hopeful. Owen's there somewhere. It's a fairly scooped effort by Jamie Carragher on his way back to his defensive position. We have a score from Dublin, Lansdowne Road, Republic of Ireland 0, France 1. Guess the scorer. You've got it, Thierry Henry. That won't help the Republic because 4 teams were unbeaten in that group before tonight. And they were one of them. Oh, and England are hesitating here, and there's going to be a free kick surely. It was Damien Johnson. I think it was Owen Hargreaves who got caught in possession there, or got caught the wrong side. Graham?
Yeah, this is again a sign of sort of England complacency. They feel they've got more time on the ball than they actually have. And quite frankly, Owen Hargreaves there is fortunate enough to get away with just a free kick, and hopefully we're not punished for it.
Well, hold on a minute, because Healy has put the ball down, and he does like a crack at goal, as we've just seen. And England here, well, would you believe this? 8 minutes to go, and Northern Ireland, having taken the lead, now have a free kick. Elliott, I think, has taken over now from Healy, and he drives it. He scored from a free kick from that position on Saturday, but he got more height on the ball then. Well, I tell you what, Laurie Sanchez will be given the freedom of the province if this stays as it is.
He certainly will, and I know we've criticised England, but we've got to give Northern Ireland a lot of credit for the way they've approached the game. The tactical side of things as well.
Well, you can sometimes get confused by training sessions, but I tell you what, I saw them working yesterday in Northern Ireland, and they did seem really up for it, and Sanchez had got a very definite game plan for them.
And And that's the exact point there, John, is having a game plan. You can have the best players in the world, but it's a team game. You need to rely on the team at certain stages. You can't just rely on individuals. Individuals have to work together. And this is a great example of Northern Ireland, for all their weaknesses in the sense. You know, you wouldn't change any Northern Irish player for an England player, I don't think. But collectively, they seem to understand what they're doing and they're working to a plan.
Just a footnote there, Chris Baird in the picture. If that booking is confirmed, it would be his second one of the group, so he wouldn't play against Wales. But he won't be thinking too much about that at the moment as he takes this free kick. And underneath it there, it's Healy again. Well, what a hero he's going to make himself. Didn't start too well for David Healy, this group. He got sent off in Wales for a bit of over-celebration by a fussy referee. This is Joe Cole. Elliott. And Hargreaves in trouble again. He doesn't seem to have attuned himself to the pace of the game at all. Nearly let Davis in there. England are all over the place here. They've just got to try and dig something out. As Hargreaves comes forward, Defoe on the far side. And at the near, there's a bit of a triple at the near post there. I'm close to being speechless. What do you think?
Thanks. I don't know what to say. It's just I can't. We're better than what we're showing. We're better than the result in Denmark. We were better than the performance against Wales, and we're certainly better than tonight's performance. And there's got to be, answers to those. There's got to be reasons for that, and answers to those questions that people are undoubtedly asking.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that isn't the answer, and that's 4-5-1. This is Rooney, because that's what's really clouded the last few days for England. Why on earth they went for that formation is open to some debate. Rooney will take the corner. David Beckham now coming into the penalty area. Jermaine Defoe is in the 6-yard box. Carragher, Ferdinand up. That's Rio Ferdinand. It's come back across to Rooney. Mike Taylor in charge. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes separating from Northern Ireland from one of the most memorable nights probably in that 125-year history. This will rival Jerry Armstrong in Spain 1982. Defoe. I was there that night in Valencia, and they've talked about it for, 23 years. Something else to talk about here. Gillespie. Offside this time, Healy. The Swiss official on the far side, Stefan Kua, certainly didn't look like raising his flag when Healy latched onto that through ball. Hargreaves. Rooney. Well, Laurie Sanchez, Graham, at the centre of one of the great shocks of all time, scorer of the Wimbledon goal that beat Liverpool in the Cup final. And look here, as a manager, he's going to do something similar. Unless England can just scramble something, because that's all it would be now. This is Stephen Davis of Aston Villa on the ball. Healy to the right. Oh, what was Ashley Cole doing there? There's the cross. Oh, and Robinson had to be quick. Actually, he didn't touch it. It went just over the bar, but Ashley Cole would have had to take responsibility there for letting Healy in.
He certainly would have. He tried just to flick the ball and missed it. And that's audacious from Healy. He's seen Paul Robinson off his line and he's gone for that. Paul Robinson always had it covered, but he's gone for a cheeky little chip.
Well, England are coming forward again here to try to save the game. This is Rooney. Michael Owen. Rooney again. Ashley Cole has gone up there more or less as an extra attacker now on the far side. There's going to be a substitution here by Ireland. The goal scorer, I think, is going to come off. It'll be one of the great ovations of all time at Windsor Park for David Healy. And Ivan Sproul, a young man who scored a hat-trick for Hibernian against Rangers a couple of weeks ago. He was a late call-up into the squad when the players were sent home, those two, and he will come out and make his full international debut. And what a night to do it in the closing minutes. 2 minutes. In goes Ferdinand. Header. Oh, a chance there! And, oh. Well, Mike Taylor just grabbed it.
Yeah, that was England using a Northern Irish tactic, long throw, flick on. And Michael Owen, I think he hesitated slightly because, in all honesty, he's putting his head somewhere where he's not quite sure where the goalkeeper is. And I think just evaded him, and a fortunate stop from Mike Taylor.
Where Taylor got a hand to it, didn't he? That was a chance for Owen. Will England get another one, I wonder? The 89th minute at Windsor Park. The place is going crazy all around us with Irish supporters in full voice. Is he going to a party tonight? There'll be a few.
There certainly will be. We won't have to buy a drink, John, will we? I don't think.
Well, I don't think so, but then are they any different? Yeah. No, I'm sorry. That wasn't kind.
No, but anybody that knows me...
You did buy the lunch today, I have to be fair about that. 1 minute. If the score stays like this, Poland would have 24 points and England 19. There's Rooney. Would be 5 points difference. Luke Young. Now, how much time will the Swiss referee have on, I wonder? Every Irish supporter is asking that question as Ivan Sproul tries to get past Ashley Cole. Owen against Craigan. Rooney now latches onto it. Gillespie trying to get back at him. Good goalkeeping by Taylor, and he wasn't too happy with Rooney, I don't think, was he?
No, I don't think he was, but I think he's congratulating the efforts of Keith Gillespie, who I think has had an excellent game, actually. He's worked so hard down that side of the pitch.
4 minutes of overtime. 4 minutes of tension here for both sets of supporters, and Ireland will be just watching the clock as England get a free kick. Hargreaves. Luke Young. No, Beckham can't steal in here. He's come back to the right-hand side these last few minutes, but made no real impression there. Well, nobody's made an impression for England, really, in this game. Nobody at all. Sven-Göran Eriksson's record of never having lost a qualifier is right in the balance here.
And that's something really that you know, he's received a lot of criticism for friendly matches and the way he's changed substitutions, but he always had that record to fall back on. It's an excellent record, but I think with the current climate, I think it's going to make you know, it's going to make his life a bit uncomfortable, you know, until we play the next international.
Well, yes, we've just got to be sensible and say if England were to win the 2 home games, then they would still qualify. We you know, it's not quite curtains or anything, but there will be people asking whether the coach has lost the plot here. This is Rooney. It's gone underneath Young. Northern Ireland are trying to slow things down by making changes. Michael Duff, who's a Burnley centre-back, is going to get a taste of the action. And I think it's going to be Stuart Elliott who leaves the pitch. Well, 2 minutes to fall to the end of the game, and Luke Young has got the ball and is going to propel it as quickly as he can now into the penalty area where Ferdinand and Beckham wait on this near side. Ireland get the ball away, and a good release pass as well, and Warren Feeney is away here. He's got Sproul to his left. Feeney's going to go himself, is he? Oh, he's a bit greedy there. He had a man just waiting for the pass, Feeney. And they've given England possession when they didn't have to, Northern Ireland. Whistles all round the ground at Windsor Park. Beckham. Now this is Rooney, he'll have a shot from here.
That's a big ask to try and score from there. It's a fantastic strike. We know what he's capable of, Wayne Rooney. But again, I think that's born out of frustration and desperation, really. And unfortunately, that sort of sums up England's performance on an individual level.
We're into the last minute of the allotted stoppage time. Northern Ireland 1, England 0. Gillespie down the line. Sproul. Turns inside. Feeney. Sproul again. Feeney. Same place from where Healy scored. Oh! Could have been two. Warren Feeney.
Great link-up play by the two substitutes, Sproul and Feeney. Similar to Healy's strike, really, and just misses the post.
Oh, they're counting the seconds here in Belfast. This is Hargreaves. Well, I've seen some extraordinary nights in international football. This must come close. It's Owen Hargreaves, though. Have England got one last chance here? Hargreaves shoots, but there's no power there. The 94 minutes are up. The Irish substitutes and coaches are just desperately waiting for the whistle. They're right up on their feet on the line, and the referee looks at his watch, and it has happened. Northern Ireland, they're running onto the pitch, the substitutes and the coaches. Northern Ireland have beaten England in Belfast for the first time since 1927. The first time anywhere since 1972. They've scored their first goal against them for 25 years, and it happened in the 74th minute, and it came from David Healy, and Sven-Göran Eriksson might well look ashen-faced. He is going to come in for a barrage of criticism, and so are his team. That was a limp, lifeless England performance, Graham Lassalle, I have to say.
It was desperate in the end at times, and these players, our players, are unrecognisable over recent sort of internationals, and there's got to be questions asked why that is. Players need motivating, they need direction, they need all of those things to provide them with the confidence and belief in each other when they go on the pitch. And unfortunately, recent performances haven't shown that, and that's got to be a big worry for Sven-Göran Eriksson and his coaching staff.
Well, we had embarrassment in Denmark, didn't we? And now we've got the unthinkable in Belfast. You could have got I'll tell you what, the guy in the corridor downstairs who guards the dressing room's got 14-1 against Northern Ireland winning this game. That's how bigger outsiders they were. And David Healy, well, he'll go down in Northern Ireland history now, and so will Sanchez, because they've never seen anything like this. As I said, the only comparison in Northern Ireland's time would have been the goal by Jerry Armstrong in Spain in 1982, but now they've got something in the modern era to celebrate and live off the back of. What a tremendous night for these people. You have to say that. They're some of the best fans in the world, and they've been truly rewarded tonight by a dedicated performance of this man's team. As for England, well, I was going to say the least said the better, but that's not the case. There'll be an awful lot said, and rightly so. Beckham and company here were humiliated. Northern Ireland 1, England 0.
Congratulations to Northern Ireland, fantastic achievement to them. We'll come to England very shortly, I suppose we must. But first, Ian Dowie, historic occasion.
Yeah, it is a historic occasion. I think, to be fair, there'll be a lot of talk about what England, but let's talk about what Ireland did well. You know, Johnson and Davison in midfield tireless, we got around them. Second half display, we've restricted to next to nothing. We've created the better chances.